All right, a really quick video on how to make mono drums feel stereo. It's a bit of a cheat without using reverb, using parallel compression instead. I'll do this really fast. So what we'll do, I've got bass drum, snare drum, and overhead. This is 3 mics going through my Focusrite Scarlett. No reverb. They're mixed though, EQ compression. And I'll set up 2 aux sends, mono aux sends, comp left. I think you can see where this is going. And comp right. So let's listen to one at a time. Let me remove this from the bus. So now we're hearing just the send, right? So I'll select a compressor. Let's say the H comp. What I'll do is I'll take 2 compressors, one for each side, and the trick is they have to have an entirely different character, one from the other. And I like one that's really bitey and slow and aggressive. So I'll use the H comp, and I'll keep the attack open, and I'll put the punch knob way up. Maybe go to that transformer. So something that's letting a lot through, but it's really, really aggressive. There's one side. The other side, I'll pick a compressor that I feel is entirely different. So let's say the Fairchild, and this is gonna, especially on the first time constant, this is really fast. It's gonna grab that initial transient and squash it. This is more of a squashy compressor. Very different than the H comp. And they have to be different for this to work. So let me get them at roughly the same level. Pan one hard left, one hard right. Sounds really weird on its own. And then I'm going to link these. And let's get the actual drum sound going again. So here are mono drums. Parallel compression. So feels stereo. Isn't actually stereo, but it feels stereo. I think this works because if you're standing in front of a drum set, as soon as you're about like 10 feet away, the drum set itself is not a stereo instrument anymore. It's a mono thing in front of you. You don't really feel the spread of the cymbals as much or the hi-hat. You just feel an instrument coming at you, but you capture it in a stereo space. You're hearing stereo air, you know? And if you'd like to get the drums to feel a little less narrow, let's say you're using some sort of minimal miking thing like I like to do, and you just want to fatten them up a bit without making them obviously stereo, and you don't want to use reverb, this is one way to do it. And I find the slower, chunkier kind of compressors sometimes might grip onto like the hi-hat a little more or the transient of the snare a little more, and then the gushier, for lack of a better word, compressor, it'll just feel like the sound kind of like bounces off one wall and onto another. The type of thing that might happen in a room if you're actually there. Kind of feels like when you're in a room, what makes things feel stereo is that what's coming at you from both sides is not the same, I suspect. I know there's a difference between stereo and binaural, and I don't know it well enough to explain it here. I just find that sometimes when I like my mono drums, when I find they feel a little narrow and I don't want to use reverb, or I use this in conjunction with reverb too. But if you're looking for another way to make your stereo drums feel a little fatter, your mono drums feel a little fatter, a little more stereo, this is one way to do it. Let's have a listen again. There's mono. Character of the drums, you're adding quite a bit of compression. It's a decision. It's a decision you have to make, right? I'm adding levels, so this is obviously more impressive, but There you have it.